Welcome back to 10 Minute Monday. My name is Amy Fletcher. I'm the youth pastor at Vineyard Community Church in Overland Park, Kansas. I am so glad that you're here. We are in week 6 of Threshold, where we're talking about how God helps us through the changes, the thresholds of our life. If you've missed the first 5 weeks, they're all linked down below. There's also a handy-dandy playlist that you can use. And everything is wrapped up in 10 minutes or less on the Monday after we teach. Have you ever had to learn a really stupid lesson the hard way? Kind of like whenever the waiter or waitress brings a really hot fajita plate, you know that it's hot because it's sizzling. And at the same time, the waiter or waitress says, it's a hot plate. And at the same time, you go, I wonder how hot. And so you have to touch it. Or maybe it's whenever you ask your mom the same question, but just slightly different, 5 or 6 different times, expecting to get a different answer? Yeah, you know better, but you do it anyway. The Israelites are the same. They know better, but they do it anyway. We are once again with the Israelites and Moses. This is 3 days after God separated the Red Sea and had the Israelites walk to freedom, while at the same time using that exact same sea to crush their oppressors. Immediately following in Exodus 15, verses 1 through 20, the Israelites lift their voices in song and praise, and they worship God. That's awesome. They should. And then 3 days later is where we catch up with them in Exodus 15, 21 through 27. Then Moses led Israel from the Red Sea, and they went into the desert of Shur. For 3 days they traveled in the desert without finding water. When they came to Marah, they could not drink its water because it was bitter. That is why the place is called Marah. So the people grumbled against Moses, saying, "What are we to drink?" I feel like we've seen this before. The Israelites grumbling and grumbling and grumbling. They tend to get distracted by their circumstances. They let the pressures of their surroundings drown out the voice of God. They know better. God has saved them from slavery and split the sea for them to have freedom. Yet still they grumble. And what does Moses do? Then Moses cried out to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a piece of wood. He threw it into the water, and the water became fit to drink. There, the Lord issued a ruling and instruction for them and put them to the test. He said, "If you listen carefully to the Lord your God and do what is right in his eyes, if you pay attention to his commands and keep all his decrees, I will not bring on you any of the diseases I brought on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals you." Then they came to Elim, where there were 12 springs and 70 palm trees, and they camped there near the water. Not only does God provide fresh springs of water at Marah, where the waters are bitter, but then he leads them to a space of security where there's 12 springs, there's an abundance of water, and the palm trees provide shade in the desert. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. See, Moses turns to God, and God provides again. God keeps proving himself faithful and trustworthy to the Israelites. They're still getting to know him. After being enslaved for 400 years, the Israelites come with their own baggage, their own wounds, probably lots of trauma, and trust issues with authority. See, God keeps showing them that he is faithful, that he is trustworthy, and that his will for Israel is good and not harm. And now he gives them a new name, a new aspect of himself, healer. In a very practical sense, he tells them if they pay attention and keep his laws, they will not have the diseases of the Egyptians. The laws that are about to be given to the Israelites include what to eat, what not to eat, how to take care of diseases, and how to keep clean. Very literally, he is saving their lives from diseases. In another way, he's healing and redeeming their past, their spiritual and emotional and mental wounds, as he proves himself over and over and over again. The Israelites are shown that they can trust him. He has made bitter waters sweet, and his promise is to heal Israel if they only trust and obey. God says, I am the Lord who heals you. He's healing the external and the internal. For the Israelites, the immediate need for water and the ongoing process of reconciliation. No matter how much they grumble, God is still leading them, loving them, redeeming them, and healing them. And God is still in the business of delivering his grumbling children through Jesus Christ, the King who makes all things new. God used a piece of wood there too. It changes our relationship with him forever. He uses the branch to sweeten the waters at Marah, and he sent his son to die on a cross, taking the bitter life separated by sin and offering a sweet life with him. We all need healing. We all are imperfect and have imperfect relationships that cause wounding. We come into life with the need of healing. Romans 3:23 says, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. But let's look at that in the surrounding verses. But now, apart from the law, the righteousness of God has been made known, to which the law and the prophets testify. All this is saying is that Jesus Christ fulfilled the law and the prophecies of the Old Testament. This righteousness is given through faith in Jesus Christ to all who believe. There is no difference between Jew and Gentile, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, and all are justified freely by his grace through the redemption that came by Christ Jesus. God presented Christ as a sacrifice of atonement through the shedding of his blood to be received by faith. Just as we have all sinned and fall short of the glory of God, all are justified freely by his grace. Just as the waters at Marah were bitter to the taste, God offered a branch that made those waters sweet. See, God offers the threshold of salvation through Jesus Christ. For the Israelites, they went on rebelling and grumbling. And I think that's a little bit like us. We go on rebelling and grumbling. For the Israelites, God continued to reveal himself, guiding them and providing for them. And for us, God continues to reveal himself to us, calling us into a deeper and deeper relationship with him. Soon, the Israelites would receive the law as a way to relate to God. We have the opportunity for a life with God, a sweet life with God through Jesus Christ. He promises to hear us, to be with us, to fight our battles, and to heal us, and so much more. We simply need to trust in him. Thanks for joining us for this 10-Minute Monday. If you feel like you would like to start this journey with Jesus, if you feel like you are hearing God's call to walk through that threshold of salvation, would you email me? My name is Amy. It's amy@vcc.church. And let me know that you would like some help walking through that doorway. Or maybe you'd like to be baptized. We're having baptism on Easter Sunday, April 4th, and you are more than welcome to share that commitment with our entire congregation and everyone online. We'd love to have you join us. Until next week, thanks. Bye.